have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Let us move on to our next part of the session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all joined this morning?
हरे कृष्ण विनीता गंधारी का माता जय दंडवत प्रणाम। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय। प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your association. Welcome to the call.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karnadevi Dasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Karuna Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your association. All glories to your wonderful services. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devidasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Priya Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day, early morning, mid-morning, and chanting so beautifully. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Bali.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day, giving your association. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day, giving your association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the assembled devotees. This is Sushmita from Mississauga, Canada.
Hare Krishna, Sushmita Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and chatting so beautifully every single day. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Okay, then we will do the introduction. Yes. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 6th chapter, 4th verse. Before we hand over the call to Maharaj, I request Balabhadra Kripa Prabhu to take over from here and give a brief introduction about Maharaj. Balabhadra Kripa Prabhu, over to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees.
Your voice is back, Prabhuji. I'm so happy.
A little bit, Mataji. It is getting back. More, more pictures I'm seeing of Meta and Capitot. It's coming back, Mataji. Thank you to all of you. So this is a brief introduction for Maharaj. His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj is a disciple of ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Srila Prabhupada, and an initiating spiritual master within the ISKCON movement. Maharaj came in contact with ISKCON in Denver, Colorado at the age of 24 years only. In 1973, he began practicing Krishna consciousness in New York City and shortly thereafter began serving at the New Vrindavan Farm Community in West Virginia. That same year, he received initiation from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In 1986, His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj accepted the sannyas order and began preaching in Cincinnati and Columbus, Ohio. In 1995, he began serving as resident sannyasi in Chicago, where he was based until 2013, when he relocated to Karlovac, Croatia. At present, His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj offers spiritual guidance across Europe, USA, and India, and gives many classes online also, today in Bhakti Sangha. Over to you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much for that brief introduction. We will wait for Maharaj. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'm Madhura Mandakini Mataji from Dubai.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Madhura Mandakini Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. What a beautiful name you have, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Is this the first time you are joining?
I have joined earlier also, but I got initiated very recently, Mataji.
What was your name before, Mataji?
Mandakini.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Congratulations to you, Hari Bol. Please join us regularly, Hari Bol.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Very nice. Is there anybody who'd like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to somebody who is Mohini Lakshmi.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Danut Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very nice to hear your voice every single day, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Puja Mataji, Danut Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to the Srila Prabhupada and my reciprocal obeisances to all devotees on the call. So this is Srinivas from Hyderabad, India, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Srinivas Prabhuji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining from India. Welcome to the call.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Okay, then we can continue chanting until Maharaj joins. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Maharaj joined the call. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 6th chapter, 4th verse. Maharaj, Hari Bol. Can you please unmute yourself, Maharaj?
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Can you make the letters a little bigger? A little too small. One more. There you go. Okay. Tatparyoso no kartavyohu yatrayor vyavahaparam natata vindate shemam mukunda charanam bhujam. Translation: endeavors merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development are not to be performed, for they result only in a loss of time and energy with no actual profit. If one's endeavors are directed towards Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform of self-realization. There is no such benefit from engaging oneself in economic development. Purport. We see materialistic persons busily engage in economic development all day and all night, trying to increase their material opulence. But even if we suppose that they get some benefit from such endeavors, solve the real problem of life. Nor do they know what is the real problem of life is. This is due to a lack of spiritual education. Especially in the present age, every man is in darkness in the bodily conception of life, not knowing anything of the spirit soul and its needs. Misguided by the blind leaders of society, people consider the body to be everything. They are engaged in trying to keep the body materially comfortable. Such a civilization is condemned because it does not lead humanity towards knowing the real goal of life. People are simply wasting time and the valuable gift of the human form because a human being who does not cultivate spiritual life but dies like the cats and dogs is degraded in his next life. From human life, such a person is put into the cycle of continuous birth and death. One loses the true benefit of human life, which is to become Krishna conscious and solve life's problems. Gyan timidandasya Giladira Swakaya Chakshurmulitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya De Santarine Panchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhupe Bacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So 8,400,000 species of life is explained by the Shastras. 5 categories, including 400,000 species of human forms. And most of the species of the human forms are subhuman, or let me say, not very advanced. There are a few advanced species. But the cycle of samsara, birth and death, is a continuous one for the soul. To take birth means to die. To die means to take birth again. So this cycle, Maya Vakshe, Kaso Beche, Kaso How Bubu Buvai, Jeev Krishna Das, Hey Vishwas, Palinar Duganai. That people don't know, and that this purpose of human life is not to chase after the temporary happiness provided by the material energy. The purpose of human life is to understand self-realization, or to understand who you are. Unless one asks the question, what is the purpose of life? Why do I have to suffer in this life? Why do I have to die? Why do I have to get old? The people will go on trying to use their time, energy, facilities in order to improve their present material situation. Prasaitu hetu praditena kovitona labhyate brahmuparyada. Labhyate dukanabam anya sukham kalena sarvatra gambira ramhasa. This verse is spoken by Sri Narada Muni, and he's actually it's spoken by Lord Brahma, but he's speaking to Sri Narada Muni, that endeavors to improve one's happiness and distress in this life are futile. Why? Because, what is that? Because everyone is destined by their birth to achieve a certain amount of happiness and a certain amount of distress materially. No one can change the amount of happiness they get materially and the amount of distress that is due to them. The only way they can make any change is they have to engage in the activities of transcendence, something that is beyond the modes of material energy or spiritual realization. But people don't know this, and the whole purpose or the whole focus of the human form of life in the world is to increase happiness and push back distress. We look at the world today, take a more or less a contemporary view of what is presently happening, we will see that there is so much suffering, problems, conflicts, and so many things. Yet everyone wants to be happy, everyone wants to pull back the stress. But it's not possible. Why? Because material energy gives you according to your karmic encounter. They give you what you... So here Prabhupada said, even if they do get a little benefit from such endeavors to improve by economic development, what is the value? But what is that improvement that may happen? It's not really an improvement. It's simply changing the face of how happiness and distress manifest. Just to give an example, you're living in a very cold area. Say most of the year it's quite cold. Maybe in places like, very northern countries, maybe even in places like the North Pole or Greenland and something like that. And you think, boy, why do I have to suffer from the cold? Why don't I just move to a nice tropical area and avoid all of this suffering that comes by way of cold weather? A person may do that. And so you might think, oh, well, they're reducing their distress. No, you can't, because you may also find that that person will get that same distress they're due in a different form. They may do something or find themselves in a situation where that distress will come, not by way of the miseries of cold weather, but in another form. So that's why this verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first chapter, first canto, 5th chapter, verse number 18, describes that, it's your happiness is going to come. your distress is going to come. Don't worry about that. It'll come automatically. Try to go beyond that and get what is called real happiness, and that happiness that is not based on the activities of the mind, intelligence, and the senses in contact with the external energy. What does that have? That is Brahma Shokam. That's why Rishabdev will say, Nayan Deho Deho Bhajan Niloke Kastan Karma Arati Vidbujan Jay. Ipo Divyam Bhutagadanat Sadvam Brahma Shokam Twanantam. That this Brahma Shokam is Twanantam. But to work hard day and night simply to improve one's material situation is compared in this verse to the lives of hogs and dogs who simply work, simply to gain something from the material in their endeavor. But a human being is meant for self-realization. The body of the human being is somewhat conducive to self-realization, where the body in other species of life is not. So to get a human form, one might think, well, yeah, there are so many human beings and we're all, we all have human forms. So what's the big thing? Actually, it is a big thing because it's rare. One may not be aware of it, but to get human life is very rare. It's even mentioned in the Shastras. So, and to get advanced human life when one has the intelligence to inquire into the goal of human life, that's even rarer, yeah. And to get the opportunity to come in contact with the process of awakening one's self as a spiritual being separate from the material body is even rarer. And to take advantage of that process and become self-realized is most rare. Extremely rare. That's why Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Sri Rupa Goswami describes that one of the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service that is extremely rare. He doesn't use it just in an ordinary sense. He says it's very, very rare. But if one gets that opportunity, just like if one is born in a very rich family, then if one simply stays in the family, at the end of the life of the elders, the parents, they inherit the fortune. So in the same way, if one somehow or other comes in contact with devotional service, it's very, very rare. And that is a great fortune because it is the means to solve all the problems of material life. And material life is simply a problem. We say sometimes we use the word material life. That life that is based on the body, the mind, the senses, the intelligence, the activities that go on in the name of gaining something from one's material endeavor. But that life is no better than the hogs and dogs. That's why Rishabdev makes that statement. He says, the only way you can get out of this hog and dog life is to perform some austerity. What is that austerity? Stop chasing material life and start looking for and pointing your focus towards self-realization. And this is mentioned here. People are wasting time and value in human form because human form who does not cultivate spiritual life dies like cats and dogs and finds themselves in a very demeaning position in their next life. So therefore, one should not take spiritual life to be for granted. One should not take spiritual life to be something routine. Spiritual life is so rare, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself in this age, has turned that rarity into something very, what we say, easily available. That's the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his most magnanimous form. Namo Mahavadhanaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gauda Triste Namaha. The Lord manifests himself in different ways. He manifests himself as the spiritual master. He manifests himself as the indwelling super soul. And by these two features, the super soul and by the spiritual master, guides the living entity back to him in pure devotional service. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the process very easily. When Krishna was personally present, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, which is the foundation of all transcendental knowledge. In that speaking, he discussed many topics: who he is, what is the jiva, the living entity in the material world, how this material world works, how the time factor is the what we say unnoticeable force, power within the material world, and what is karma and how it works. And then Krishna ends all of his talks in a discussion with his pure devotee Sri Arjuna. Based on this topic, he ends by saying, Sarvadharma pradikshajam mamekam saranam vrajam aham tvam sarvapape bil moksha yishyami nasuchaha. He says, give up all of your ideas on how you can be happy in this world, all of your plans, all of your so-called programs, and simply surrender to me. Follow me. I'll take care of you. I'll bring you to the path of enlightenment. And by that path, you will achieve perfection. Krishna says that. But then, when Krishna was reflecting on his words, he saw that what he had said seemed to be too difficult for people to do. Oh, surrender to God, give up all of my ideas on how I can be happy. Oh, what does that mean? People didn't have that kind of faith, nor did they have any understanding of how to proceed, even if they wanted to. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it easy. He said, don't worry about surrender. Just chant Hare Krishna. Make that chanting your main activity in life. And offer your food before you eat. Everyone has to eat every day. And eating is a very normal and a frequent thing that the living entity does for nourishment and also for sustenance, for happiness, for longevity. He said, offer your food to me. And he said, also, understand me through philosophical teachings that are given by me through the spiritual master, my representative, the pure devotee, and through the scriptures, which are coming from me directly. So he made the process very easy. But still, people find it too difficult. Still, they find so many reasons why not to take up the process. Taking up the process is not simply like getting a job in the material business. It cannot be compared to taking up the process. Means to understand that this taking up the process means a solution to all problems of life eternally, and ultimately achieving the perfection of life, loving devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the constitutional nature of all living beings. Jiver Sarupai Krishnera Nityadas. Whatever species of life the soul inhabits, whatever body it inhabits, that soul has an eternal loving relationship with the Lord. But only in human form of life can that be realized. And here Mahaprabhu has made the process very easy. But still, people don't want to take it up, or they take it up half-heartedly, or they still consider that the material life is more important, and they might give some token time represented to the spiritual practice, and they push it aside and spend most of their time working hard for economic gain, for improving the family situation, improving one's situation in the world in relationship to other living entities. And this goes on no matter, even though people are somewhat aware of the process of devotional service, they're not very serious in their execution. To become serious means that fear is the formula. It's like, I'll give you a personal example using an analogy. I was struggling with a particular ailment, physical ailment, and I've tried so many things, to overcome it. It's something painful, actually what it was sciatica. So I was struggling with that for years and years and years, trying different things. And then I met one of my god brothers. He said, here's the remedy. He gave me this medicine. He said, take this and all your problems will be gone. And he said it with such surety. I said, all right, I'll try. And in 1 week after taking the medicine, miraculously, I used the word, all the pain was gone and hasn't returned. Yet the medicine was so powerful and so direct, and was simply some tablets. That's all it was. But because I didn't know what that medicine was or where it was available, it's like the spiritual master. He comes, he said, here's the way. We're trying so many ways to push back the suffering of material life by fortifying ourselves and by surrounding ourselves with so many situations that seem to give us protection and some kind of happiness. But every time things change and we find ourselves back in the same miserable situation. But then the spiritual master will come and say, here's the formula. You follow my instructions, and you make those instructions your most important part of your life, and you'll be free from all of your anxieties, and you'll become fully God-conscious, happy person. But and that's what the spiritual master is here for. He teaches us that. So this one-shot medicine worked in such a way that I was amazed on how fast all of the pain went away and hasn't returned yet. It doesn't seem like it's going to return either. The medicines were so powerful and so direct and so easily applicable and so easily available, but I was unknown. Just like the spiritual master's canvassing, he's going everywhere in the form of his representatives to preach Krishna consciousness to the conditioned souls. But the conditioned souls, just like Srila Prabhupada, when he first began Krishna consciousness, before he actually came to America, he was putting together his little magazine called Back to Godhead. At that time, it was just one sheet of paper on both sides, describing different topics of spiritual life and the importance of taking advantage. And Prabhupada would write it up. He would go to the printers, have it printed, and he would do it everything himself. He would write it, he would edit it, he would go have it printed, he would collect the printing, and he would take it and go to the tea stalls in Delhi and try to sell each of these little one-page copies for a few pice, that's all. And people will say, oh, Swamiji, what you're doing is very nice, but we have no time. We have no time. And they give reasons why they have no time. But Prabhupada was hearing that quite regularly, and finally he wrote one edition of his paper called No Time. People say, well, we got this to do, we got that to do, and this is all. So they push spiritual life back somewhere back in the back part of their life. And if they have a little time, they give some token attention to it, which really doesn't give us much satisfaction. Spiritual life is life. Material life is simply a shadow of the real life, because the living entity is not the material body. It's like to hang your coat in the closet and then start talking to your coat and your hat and say, well, he's got the form like a human being. He must be able to talk to me, And it's that ridiculous. The material life, this material body, is simply a prison suit given by material energy because of our desires to enjoy separately in this material world. We're given a particular body according to the types of desires we have to enjoy in this material world. And the bodies are formulated life after life according to our activities and desires in the present life. And it becomes cumulative, life after life. So this prison term doesn't end simply at the end of death. It goes on life after life after life until the living entity actually understands, hey, why am I have to suffering all the time? Why am I never happy? Or why am I getting happiness just a few flickering experiences and then it's gone? But the Bhagavad Gita says, Susukam kartamavyayam, that this process of the pure devotional service awakens the soul's natural proclivities for eternal happiness. It's there within the soul. Just recently, I saw some advertisement that was called Hacking Happiness. It was some new adventure come by a few people in the material world. And they came up with this idea, here's how you can become happy. And then they created this website called Hacking Happiness. And you go and then they teach you how you can become happy. I didn't really investigate it thoroughly. All I heard was the advertisement based on this new idea. It's somewhat of a new idea because it's become somewhat timely now, because it's being seen that people are not happy more than ever nowadays. So much suffering in the world, even day to day. I just came back from India yesterday. I'm here now in London for one day, and I'll leave London tomorrow and go to Croatia and Slovenia. But when I was coming in the car with my driver, he was explaining how in London now they're taxing people for everything. There's this tax and that tax, another tax, a congestion tax for the inner city. Now they got congestion tax for the outer city. So many things. Bhagavatam says that material life will continue to become more and more difficult, and where people will get so frustrated, being harassed by the present material civilization in the form of the leadership, that they'll leave their hearth and home and go to the forest just to escape the harassment given by the present government situation. That is the predictions for the age of Kali. Not only is material life innately suffering, but it's being exasperated by the present material situation in the form of this Kali Yuga by misleaders who have no understanding of how to govern the leaders in this world. So spiritual life is the only solution. It's the only way out, and is the real, and Mahaprabhu has made it so easily available. Take advantage of Mahaprabhu's process. Read Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion. These 4 books comprise a lifetime worth of reading, not a lifetime, many lifetimes worth of reading. And it gives you the whole formula But to make it easy and summarize it, take shelter of Krishna as pure representative and work under the guidance of the pure representative. Elevate your consciousness simply by his instructions and ultimately achieve the goal of human life, which is Prema Pumarta Mahan, which is to develop our love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It can't be done simply by one's own ideas. It has to be done according to Krishna's plan. And Krishna's plan is already given in the form of accepting the bona fide spiritual master as the means for achieving self-realization, perfection, and God consciousness. So that's the mercy. That's the mercy that's there in this scene. So we might say, as Bhagavatam says, that in this age of Kali, there are so many problems. Kalir doshani de rajana asti eko mahagun. But then again, there is that mahagun. What is that echo? Asti eko. Kirtana ever Krishnasya mukta sangam pradangajaya. By chanting the holy names of the Lord and following the process of the pure devotional service as given by the spiritual master, one can rid themselves of all the difficulties and sufferings that come by way of material life, rise above that, and come to the position of pure consciousness, which is the actual consciousness of the living entity. It's been covered by the association of Maya. Coming back to who we really are is the process of pure devotion and service. Okay, so I'm going to stop there.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam.
Haribol.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, how is your sciatica pain now?
Gone completely, 100%.
Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Maharaj, maybe you can share that medicine, because my mom is suffering with that too. And I know it is so bad. She cries when it is there. It is so bad.
This medicine is miraculous. When I would cough, I would get pains all the way down to my feet, from my
True,
waist
Maharaj.
all the way down. Severe shooting pains. Now all
So
of that. Yeah.
what she experiences is the same thing, Maharaj, starting from here up to the toe, of the foot. It's all painful. So painful, Maharaj.
But
Wow.
this medicine was given to me by a devotee who he helps devotees through various types of advices in medicine. And he was just my personal friend, and I spent some time with him.
Wow.
Yeah, make it known. You can just contact me and
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. That will be very nice, Maharaj. Because I think so many people suffer with this sciatica thing. Very painful.
It's very painful.
Very painful.
My experience is it works. And
Perfect.
I was amazed to see how fast it worked.
True, Maharaj.
You take 2 tablets 2 times a day, which is 4 tablets. And after a week, not even a week, it was completely gone.
Hari bol, Hari bol. Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Hari bol, Hari bol. Very nice.
The prescription is you take it for 2 weeks and you stop for 2 weeks. And then if you find it's coming back for whatever reason, you can continue. Otherwise, you don't need the medicine anymore.
I will ask Shamagori Mataji to send you a message, and then you can send it. And later I will ask her. Thank you, Maharaj. Very beautiful.
I'll send a picture of the
thing. Yeah, yes, that will work, Maharaj. That will work. Maharaj, you were saying you were traveling to India yesterday. You are in London today, and tomorrow you are going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Too much traveling, Maharaj. You are also Parivarajaka. Too much traveling and preaching, Maharaj.
It's we stop occasionally.
Yeah. But Maharaj, give time to your health too, Maharaj. With sciatica pain and everything, Maharaj, it's so hard on the body too. Please take care of your health also, Maharaj.
Don't worry, that is a consideration.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
But
Thank you.
spiritual life is life. Tending to this body is important and it's necessary, but it shouldn't interfere with our spiritual life.
Thank you, Maharaj. That's a inspiration, Maharaj. Maharaj, our Shiv Kumar Prabhuji has a hand raised. So we'll go to question session, Maharaj, if you have a few minutes, please. Shiv Kumar Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, one question, Maharaj, of the two, pleasure and pain. Any specific reason, Maharaj? Our understanding from Shastra is both are illusions. But in our practice, we seem to emphasize that the pleasure is illusion, and we kind of caution on the pain that we go through, Maharaj. I just wanted to understand any specific reason that we take this stand.
Well, the understanding is, according to Shastra, is that pain and pleasure is relegated to the body. We are not the body. We are in the body. What happens to the body doesn't happen to you, the soul. But because you're in the body, and the body is very dear to the soul because it's the place of residence for the soul, we experience these things as pleasure and pain. But those who are, the more you become realized in yourself as a spiritual being, the more you can transcend the effects of pleasure and pain. As for people in the material world, they undergo greater suffering than devotees who have the similar types of suffering, because the devotees are somewhat detached from their body, and they somehow tolerate the pain, and they may also lessen the pain simply by the process of devotional service. Prabhupada also has explained that, and it works. He says, chanting relieves pain. And so it's not something artificial or some kind of idea just to get people to take up spiritual life. The more you come to the platform of the soul, the more you get away from the effects of the body more and more. So there is always that element of tolerance, but I've seen people who have undergone tremendous pain, just like, for example, our great devotee Bhakti Tirtha Swami. Before he was leaving the body, he was undergoing tremendous pain. He had cancer that went into the bones, and when the bones become cancerous, the pain is unbelievable. But yet, when he was hearing, Chaitanya Charitamrita and the pastimes of Krishna, he was experiencing transcendental happiness, so much so that he was beyond the effects of the pain. He was simply living in the consciousness of the transcendental words that were coming in the form of what we say nectar on the eternal life of the soul, free from this connection with the material body. So the more we become Krishna conscious, the less we experience the pains and pleasure of this world. It's all in the matter of degree also, too. That's why, when people in the material world are dying and there's pain, they give them all kinds of drugs to numb the pain. But devotees don't do that. Devotees say, no, let the pain come. That way I can burn off some of the last karma that I have before I can leave this world. Because pain is another way to burn off karma. So, it's a way to get rid of the reactions of karma.
Okay. So, Maharaj, just to confirm, Maharaj, of these two, Maharaj, we kind of seem to be insisting that the pleasure is an illusion, whereas the pain is real, and we are kind of cautioning us. So I just wanted to understand, Maharaj, when both are illusion.
No, they're both the same. They're both both relegated to the body, in the sense, the mind, body, senses, and mind. They're
Thank
both opposite of the same principle of bodily life. That's all. And the perception of what is pain and what is present, and what is pain and what is pleasure, is different from person to person also.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
We say one man's food is another man's poison.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the
There.
beautiful question. Thank you, Maharaj. Beautiful answers. Devotee find a purpose in the pain that sees as a mercy of Krishna. Padam padam yat vipadam na tesham. Thank you, Maharaj. Beautiful answer.
I
Maharaj,
have a question.
Mataji, can we go to the one devotees who have hand raised, and we will come to you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Krishna Kaviraj Prabhuji, Dano Pranam.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, when we're endeavoring to make progress in the spiritual life, and we take the association of devotees, and sometimes we see that devotees are very experienced or appear to be experienced, serving nicely, have a nice knowledge of Shastra. But sometimes we get advice from various devotees that seems to go against the teachings and advice of the spiritual master. So how can we understand this, and how can we deal with this, Guru Maharaj?
Well, when you seek out advice, you should seek out that source who can give you the advice. Therefore, when you go for advice, you should go to that authority who is authorized to give advice. Not that you take advice from everyone. People may have different perceptions on how to give advice according to the situation. If you ask one person about advice on a particular topic, you might get 3 or 4 different answers by different people. But if you go to the spiritual master or someone who has a reputation to be able to help devotees, they're established in that process of giving advice. In other words, the persons who are actually understanding the process of devotional service and are living according to those teachings. Those are the persons you want to seek advice from, not anybody and everybody, even though they may be in the dress of devotees.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Nice question.
That was a nice question, actually. Thank you, Maharaj. Beautiful answer. We should go to our senior congregation devotees or the speakers, Maharajas, and yeah, certainly the
people know.
Yes.
Who are authorities who can give advice, not just anybody.
Not just anyone. True, Maharaj. Very true. Very true. One who have seen the truth. Maharaj, Shri Devi Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dano Pranam. Mataji, we see you every time Maharaj is here, but give your darshan often, Mataji, please, because you are such a beautiful devotee. Thank you, Mataji.
Please accept my humble obeisances, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances, Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Your Holiness. Thank you for today's class. Maharaj, we understand that once we are given this seed of devotional service, that we must cultivate it carefully. That is a very great gift given to us. And devotee no longer is interested in running after material things. But as we engage in devotional service, we find that we are not so good at it or not so great at it. And there's a feeling of dissatisfaction. I could have done this better, or I should have done this better. And in every situation, oh, my japa could have been better, or my service could have been better. So you end up thinking, when am I ever going to feel satisfied? Because in every area I could have done better and I'm not. So how do we feel a sense of satisfaction in devotional service?
Try your best. Be sincere, follow the process. Krishna explains that to Brahma. This is mentioned in the very end of the you can turn to that. Go to Brahma Samhita. Can you bring up Brahma Samhita 559? Well, Krishna, after hearing Brahma's prayers and his prayers of self-realization based on his the knowledge he received from Krishna, Krishna responds, and this verse is really like a summation, 559. The highest devotion is attained by slow degrees, by the method of constant endeavor for self-realization, with the help of scriptural evidence, theistic conduct, and perseverance in practice. So this is the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he's giving a 3-point, he summarizes everything. Highest is attained by slow degrees, by a method of constant endeavor for self-realization. The word constant is there. One is following the process continuously, getting help from scriptural evidence, which comes also from both the spiritual master and from the acharyas. Proper behavior, theistic conduct, you might say Vaishnava etiquette, and determination, perseverance, and practice. Prabhupada emphasizes this perseverance and practice as the means for success in devotional service. And Rupa Goswami similarly says the same thing in so many different words: enthusiasm, determination, patience, following the process, taking help from the acharyas and from scripture. So these are the guidelines, or not guidelines, but these are the means by which we follow the process. So we could ask questions based on these principles that are mentioned here, but these are the essential principles.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful question, Mataji. That actually we all have that question in mind sometimes. So thanks for bringing up that question. And Maharaj, such a beautiful evidence you gave, 5.59, right from the Shastras, Brahma Samhita. So dear devotees, please later go and see 5.59 if we all are, having these questions in our mind. Thank you, Maharaj. Such a beautiful evidence. Thank you, Mataji, again for asking. Maharaj, we have VRM Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dhanava Pranam. Sorry, I had to put you back in line because there were a few devotees. Sorry, I seek apologies, Mataji. Thank you. Mataji, you're on mute, Mataji only. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam. My name is Varija and I'm joining from India. My question to Maharaj Ji is that you mentioned that pleasure and pain is subjective, and pleasure for one person can be pain for another and vice versa. But what if you see your own loved one facing some health challenges or some pain, but they're not taking steps, or they are taking steps but not fully able to overcome it? And how do you deal with that feeling where you feel the pain in the suffering of your own loved one, but you aren't able to do it, even though you want to do something to help them, but you aren't able to really help them?
Well, just tell them to chant the holy names. That's all. Because then they can transcend the whole process. They may go on with their health remedies. They should do that. But at the same time, take shelter of the holy name. Of course, we don't take shelter of the holy name to get rid of material pain or to bring material pleasure. But we actually rise above the three modes of material energy, which are the cause of the material suffering and the material pleasure. So when we bring our consciousness to a higher state of existence, we somehow or other not only do we somehow mitigate the suffering, but at the same time, we are actually connecting with that higher energy. And therefore, we're actually feeling happiness, although we may be undergoing some physical difficulty. So physical difficulty is there as long as we have a material body, it's going to be there. The fact that the body is the source of pain and pleasure, no one can get around that. But then again, we have the opportunity to rise above it through the process of spiritual awareness, spiritual attainment. But these are just what we say byproducts. The real process for the real purpose of taking up spiritual life is to realize God.
Thank you so much.
Even some of the patients who are dying in so many different ways, but if they're devotees, even though they're dying, they're just thinking, oh, I'm going to go back to Krishna because I gave my life to Krishna. They don't even care whether they're undergoing suffering, because their destination is no longer a material body, but a transcendental existence.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Thank you, VRM Mataji. Thank you for joining all the way from India. Yeah, certainly it's very difficult, when we see our loved ones in pain. But then certainly what Maharaj said is that, and that is the only thing I think we should clang to. And what we can do other than that, right, Mataji? Sometimes we are just in the hands of gods like puppets, like Srila Prabhupada says, Nachao, nachao, Prabhu, nachao re mate. So thank you, Mataji.
A real devotee sees all living beings as non-different than themselves, not just their family members, friends, and acquaintances. They see the sufferings of the living beings around the world, and they also feel unhappy because of that. And because they feel unhappy, they want to do something to relieve people's suffering. We're all connected to each other by Krishna through the process of devotion to Krishna. So we give emphasis on our friends, family members, and others, but ultimately, one who is practicing devotional service sees everyone as their family members. Not just this particular, because I have a particular body and this other person has a body connected with mine, that these people are important and the rest of the world is not. No.
So true, Maharaj. So true. This is coming purely from your own practices of Krishna consciousness all your life, Maharaj. That is showing there. Yes, Maharaj. At a different level, Maharaj. True, Maharaj. Very true. Very true. Yeah. Maharaj, Bhikkhu Prabhuji, Bhikkhu Parmar Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Firstly, our Dandavat Pranams to Maharaj. Welcome in London. And my wife has to share something, so she can proceed. Thank you for your time.
Hare Krishna, all devotees, and Hare Krishna Maharaj. Welcome to your Krishna's home, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Anyway, today is the topic of the pain. So I'm sharing with my experience to other people. It will help them, I think. So I'm saying age 77, I got knee pain. And with pain, we did 2 retreats. One in South India for 1 month and one another. So it makes worse. And before the retreat, my son took me to the physiotherapist for the permission whether I can travel or not. But he gave me 2 physios and then test everything. And he said, yeah, she can, no problem. And then when I came, the pain was very, very severe. I was I can't take the pain. Hardly I walk in the house even. And then my son and his wife, they are both in medicals. They took me to the joint specialist, and they did a lot of research. And he was the good consultant. So he checked everything and did the X-rays, and he told me you can't do the operation or anything. You can take the painkiller or steroids, or that this is nothing. And believe me, Prabhuji, I was really crying like your mom was crying. I said, no way, doctor, don't treat me like this. And he was young like my son. I said, I treat you like my son. If your mother, would you live like her in the pain? I said, all life we work very hard, and now time is come to enjoy, do the retreat. So he has got mercy. He says, okay, I'll do the MRI scan. And he did that scan. And then he told me, you can do the operation if you want to. Before he told me, no, not to do operation or anything. It is old days. But anyway, he did the operation, and it was short. And then immediately I said, no, I want to do the operation. So,
The
and
spiritual master he's the doctor. He's doing the operation.
Yeah. And
the disease is material life.
Yeah. And he explained
solution is spiritual life.
Yes.
Real pains and pleasures will come and go as the seasons come and go. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Marta sparsas to kuntaya, sitnos na sukha dukkada, agapayino nityas tamsatiks. Happiness and distress, pain and pleasure are like the coming and going of the winter and summer seasons. They rise from sense perception, and one has to learn to tolerate them without becoming disturbed. Keep your consciousness connected with the spiritual, and then whatever experiences you're having on the material level, you can deal with them. But the real thing is, even if we have a very healthy body, we have big muscles, and we have a success in doing so many things in life, if we're not Krishna conscious, we die and take birth as an animal in the next life. But even if we're suffering so much physically in this life, if we connect with Krishna through devotional service, then we can go back home and get rid of all of these material bodies and all of the material pains that come along with it. But we shouldn't be so much concerned about these material things. I mentioned my situation as an example, how that one particular remedy can cure a disease. And what is that remedy? The words of the spiritual master. The disease is bhava roga, material life. That is the real disease. Mm-hmm. People are suffering in this material world because they don't know why they're suffering or how to get out of their suffering. They're trying everything. And doctors, all of the do-gooders in the material world can't solve the problem. The problem is that we have a material body. That is the problem. So make this your last life in the material world and go back to the spiritual world. That's available for everyone by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and by his representatives who are canvassing everywhere to take up this real medicine. Enechi, Asadi Maya, Nasi Baralagi, Harinama Maha Mantra, Lao Tumi Magi. And Bhakti Vinod said, Enechi, Asadi. What is Asadi? Asadi means medicine. What is that medicine? Harinam Sankirtan, chanting the holy name. That is the medicine in this age. And that gets rid of all of the diseases of material existence, which come by way of living in this world. We get rid of one pain, another one comes. We get a healthy body and people give us a hard time. If we don't suffer with our mind and body, we suffer because other people are giving us pain. Yeah. If we don't suffer from other people giving us pains, then the material energy in the form of calamities come. Cold, heat, rain, tornadoes, so many things. Snowstorms. You can't get around this stuff. What can you do? We're all doing preventative medicine, but our medicine was not working. There's only one medicine. The holy name. That's the medicine in this age. Take serious the chanting of the holy name. And you'll be able to rise above all of the difficulties that come by way of living in this material world. It's not a euphemism or some idea. It is a principle of reality. The holy name is the medicine in this age. Yeah, thank you from Baba Baba Kripa. I have brought the medicine that will wipe up the disease of illusion by which way you are. The disease is illusion. We're still thinking this world, this material body, and if we can somehow make the material body, put it in a better situation, then we become successful. But how long will that situation last? Even if you make some change, then after some time you get another disease, and then you die. The people who die healthy, still they died because they have a material body. That's the problem. And there's a way out of that problem. Lord Chaitanya has come. He's giving it. He's brought his associates. And he didn't come alone. He came with his entourage, with his paraphernalia, with his eternal associates to teach the whole process. Harinam Sankirtan. That's the process. And Srimad Bhagavatam, all the answers are there. Everything is there. Do whatever you have to do to maintain this body, live in this world. But realize that whatever you do is subject to, it's not really the solution. The real solution is Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. That's the solution.
Thank you, Maharaj. That's what we did all the time. And they take me to the theater, operation theater. I was chanting all the time Maha Mantra. And the anesthetic doctor said, "What are you chanting?" He was Punjabi and another was English. They don't know. I said, "I'm doing my Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna." He said, "Your voice is very nice." I said, "You can sing with me." And I sing Hare Krishna. And they were singing me. And by the time I was gone, anesthetic. And then when I wake up with a smile, and then they told me to take to the X-ray theater and checked everything. He says everything was fine, everything. Now doctor said I did my 50% job, and he told me really strictly, now 50% is your job. You have to take care and do the exercise. So I did all, and
the patient has become the doctor.
Yes, and do the Maha Mantra all the time. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Maharaj. That was so beautiful. You bring that up. Enechi o shadi maya nasib varo lagi. Hari naam maha mantra lao tumi magi. Thank you, Maharaj. So beautiful, Maharaj. You bring that up right in the context of pain. We are all seeking for medicines. Hemi Mataji, Hari Bol Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. You can unmute yourself, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Dandavat Pranam, Maharaj. Thank you for your class. I have a question around anger. So I do understand it is an anartha and we have to overcome it. And with chanting and listening to Bhagavatam and classes, I have significantly improved. But if I'm challenged, I will fall down. And so I mean, I have understanding, theoretical, and endeavors I'm making, but I mean, what should I be doing in the moment when I know I am going to fall down? Is there something I can do in that moment to prevent that, Maharaj?
Well, you're talking about the antidote for anger?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, the Bhagavatam talks about that. There's an antidote for all of the different anarthas. Anger, one has to cultivate forgiveness. Anger is it says anger is the younger brother of desire. When desire is frustrated or unfulfilled or challenged in some way, the principle of anger starts to manifest. Then you learn how to see the situation. It's due to your attachment. Those who have no attachment materially, they can avoid anger because whatever happens, they accept it as the arrangement of the Lord, and they certainly learn to tolerate it. That's all. So anger is there. You see even great souls get angry, but they get angry not because of frustrated desires, but because people are living the life of illusion, and they're presenting this illusion as reality. So learn how to forgive when it comes to a particular situation where there's other people involved. And forgiveness is the antidote for anger. And sometimes you have to say, well, why am I getting angry? What's the cause? Look at you. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati says, gives us a very strong statement. He says, when other people cause disturbances to you, look inside yourself and see what is about you that's becoming disturbed. Think about that. When you see something that's coming disturbing you, look in yourself and see why you're becoming disturbed. What is it about you? So we have to learn to maneuver our consciousness in such a way as that we don't become victimized by these emotional outbreaks. And therefore we have to control emotions by higher intelligence. There was one devotee. He was explosive. He used to be very, very much prone to anger. And so much so that he would even get physical sometimes. So then after he joined the Hare Krishna movement and started practicing for a while, I mean, he was a very, well, you would describe as a person who was very confrontational, and anybody who would confront him, there would be big problems. He was like that. But one time, someone did something, really challenged him, and he started to get angry, but he checked his anger and somehow remained calm. The person said, I see you're getting angry. He said, yes, but years ago, I would have beat you to a pulp. I would have smashed you, but because I'm practicing Krishna consciousness, I'm only getting a little angry now. So in due course of time, his temperament started to change. So yeah, we can see that as we practice Krishna consciousness, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, envy, fear, all of these things start to decrease in our life. And when you become fully Krishna conscious, then all of these things are gone.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. I'll work on myself a little bit more.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, if you have a few more minutes, we have another couple of hands raised, Maharaj.
Yeah, we have Supriya. Right?
Thank you, Maharaj. Okay, Maharaj, yes, we can go with Supriya Mataji. Hare Krishna, Supriya Mataji, Dandava Pranam. And then later we have Sridevi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, you mentioned in Bhagavatam, these anarthas are mentioned and their solution is also mentioned. I have not read all complete Bhagavatam yet, so can you please tell us where exactly I can find that?
Yeah, it's in the 7th canto, for sure. I remember reading some of them are mentioned in different places, but in the 7th canto, 15th chapter number 15, which I think is the final chapter in the 7th canto. If you go through that chapter, you'll find that there's the antidote for various types of anarthas.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj.
15th chapter, yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Sridevi Mataji, we are back to you. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Guru Maharaj, I'm just trying to understand the answer you gave Vanija Mataji about asking relatives to chant the holy name when they are suffering and pain, etc. Now, even when we tell them when they are well to please chant, they don't listen. So when they are in pain, what is the chance that they are going to take it seriously and listen when they cannot even chant when they are well? Or they're so desperate and in so much pain that they might actually try it.
Yeah, the pain is an impetus for chanting.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they say there's no atheists in the foxholes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj. Actually, I was scrolling down Bhagavatam 7:15, and true, dear devotees, text 23, 24, they all talk about, for example, by discussing spiritual knowledge, one can conquer lamentation and illusion. By serving a great devotee, one can become prideless. So these are some of the formulas given there. Please do read those 7, 15, 23, and then they continue with 24. Thank you so much, Maharaj. That was such a beautiful class, and so many praman from Shastras himself you gave, Maharaj. And of course, you are Guru, Saguru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Everything is there, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was such a beautiful class with so many beautiful questions from devotees from all over the world. So, dear devotees, let us finish the class here because Maharaj is traveling. He has traveled from India yesterday. He's in London, and tomorrow he will travel again. So let us pay our obeisances to Maharaj and all the assembled Vaishnavas. Can everybody unmute themselves? Yeah. Can everybody unmute? Perfect. Vancha kalpataru
कृपा सिंधुभ्यो पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की जय। His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.
Ranga.
Radhe Radhe Gauranga.
Nityananda.
Radhe Radhe.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.